Imagine this. A man in his later years, someone who's seen it all, experienced love, loss, and everything in between. He's walked through life with his own baggage, yet when it comes to choosing someone to spend the rest of his days with, there's a pivotal moment that most women don't even realize. It's not when you sleep with him. It's not when he introduces you to his friends. It's not even when he says, "I love you." None of those are the moment a man truly chooses you. It's something deeper, something more profound. In today's video, I'm going to reveal the real moment that older men choose you, even though they might never admit it. This is the moment when everything shifts in his heart and mind. You might think it's just a passing gesture or a small action, but trust me, it's the real deal. But before we dive in, make sure to hit that subscribe button and turn on notifications so you never miss more insights like this. And if you're ready to learn what truly makes a man choose you, hit that like button too. Let's dive in and uncover what really happens when an older man truly decides you're the one. Moment number 1. When vulnerability becomes safety. There's a powerful yet quiet moment in any meaningful relationship that marks a shift. A moment when vulnerability is no longer seen as a risk, but becomes a source of safety. It's the point when a man, despite his walls and defenses, feels that he can let his guard down and be himself without judgment. This shift is often subtle, but its impact is profound. He's always been strong, perhaps even emotionally guarded, but one day, something changes. You share a vulnerable part of yourself, something raw, personal, or even a little uncomfortable. Instead of turning away or offering a quick fix, he listens. He doesn't rush to make things better. He just sits with you in that moment, offering quiet support. He becomes a safe space where you can express your fears, your doubts, your uncertainties without the need for pretense. This is the moment when vulnerability becomes safety, not just for you, but for him as well. He begins to trust you with parts of himself he's never shared with anyone before. This unspoken understanding shifts the dynamic of the relationship. It's no longer about maintaining an image of strength or perfection. It's about being real with each other, accepting flaws, and embracing the deeper connection that comes with shared vulnerability. For men, this moment is often transformative. When they feel safe enough to show their true selves, they stop performing. They stop hiding behind bravado and finally reveal the deeper layers of their character. It's this safety, this emotional freedom that makes him choose you, not just in the moment, but in a deeper, long-term sense. This is the moment where he lets down his guard and where you both begin to create a bond that's built on trust, mutual respect, and real emotional connection. My neighbor, Robert, a retired engineer and typically reserved man, was dating a woman named Claire. I'd observed them together for months, and while they seemed compatible, I sensed Robert was still somewhat guarded. Then one evening, Robert shared something with Claire that he'd never told anyone, his deep fear about his memory, sparked by watching his father's battle with dementia. Instead of offering solutions or reassurances, Claire simply took his hand and said, "Thank you for trusting me with your heart." What happened next was remarkable. I watched Robert's entire demeanor shift. His shoulders relaxed, his breathing deepened, and for the first time, I saw him completely at peace in her presence. The ancient Stoic philosopher Epictetus taught that no one can hurt you without your permission, but I would add that no one can heal you without your permission either. The moment when a man chooses to be genuinely vulnerable with you, sharing his deepest fears, regrets, or insecurities, and discovers that you respond with grace rather than judgment, something profound occurs in his psyche. Have you experienced a moment when someone's vulnerability created deeper connection? Share your thoughts below, because this foundation of emotional safety leads directly to our next profound moment. Moment number 2. The test of authentic character. Building on that foundation of emotional safety, there comes a moment when a man needs to see who you truly are when circumstances challenge your character. This isn't a test he consciously creates. It's an observation that happens during life's inevitable difficulties. I experienced this myself when Dorothy and I faced my mother's long illness. Dorothy handled the situation with such wisdom and compassion, managing practical details while honoring my mother's dignity and my emotional needs. She never made it about herself or used the situation to gain leverage. In those months, I didn't just love Dorothy. I chose her as the woman I wanted beside me for all of life's challenges. This reflects what the Roman philosopher Marcus Aurelius meant when he wrote, "You have power over your mind, not outside events. Realize this, and you will find strength." But I would expand this. A man chooses the woman who demonstrates grace under pressure, wisdom in crisis, and strength that complements rather than competes with his own. Dr. Julie Gottman's research on relationship resilience shows that couples who navigate stress together with mutual support and respect develop what she calls relationship immunity, a deep trust that they can handle anything life brings. When a man witnesses your authentic character during challenging times, he doesn't just admire you, he chooses you as his life partner. The profound truth is that character reveals itself under pressure. It's in the difficult moments, when life is less than perfect, that a person's true nature is exposed. When you demonstrate grace, wisdom, and strength during tough times, you pass the deepest test a man's heart can offer. It's easy to show strength when things are going well, but when life throws curveballs, whether it's a stressful situation, personal loss, or unexpected challenges, that's when the real character shows up. In those moments, when he sees how you respond, how you remain calm, thoughtful, and emotionally grounded despite the chaos, he begins to understand the depth of your strength. It's not about perfection, it's about resilience, the ability to weather storms together and still show up with love and understanding. But character alone, while essential, isn't the complete picture. There's something even more fundamental that happens when you become the place his soul finds peace. I'll reveal that right now. Moment 3. When you become his emotional refuge. Now we arrive at what I promised would be transformative, and I must share something deeply personal. After Dorothy passed, I thought I understood loneliness, but it wasn't until I met Catherine at a community event that I realized the difference between being alone and finding true emotional refuge in another person. Catherine possessed something rare, the ability to create what I can only describe as emotional sanctuary. When I was with her, the constant low-level stress that seems to accompany aging simply disappeared. My racing thoughts slowed, my shoulders relaxed, and I felt genuinely at peace for the first time in years. This represents the third moment when a man truly chooses you,
when your presence becomes his refuge from the world's demands. The ancient Greek concept of ataraxia, profound tranquility, describes this perfectly. You become the person with whom he can simply be, without performance, without pressure, without pretense. This isn't about you becoming passive or losing your own vitality. Rather, it's about creating a relationship dynamic where both people can be authentically themselves. Dr. Sue Johnson's research on emotional bonds shows that we become most attached to people who consistently provide what she calls secure base experiences, relationships where we feel fundamentally safe and accepted. Let me connect this to our previous insights. When vulnerability becomes safety and you prove your character under pressure, you create the conditions for becoming his emotional refuge. These aren't separate events. They're interconnected experiences that build upon each other. When life gets overwhelming, whether it's work stress, personal struggles, or simply the weight of the world, he needs someone who can absorb that emotional load, not to fix it, but to simply offer him a place to be vulnerable without judgment. A man who chooses you as his emotional refuge isn't just seeking comfort, he's seeking peace. And he's willing to let you into the deeper corners of his heart. It's not about grand gestures or words. It's about the quiet moments where you're there, not demanding anything, but offering calm in the storm. These moments may not always be flashy or romantic in the traditional sense, but they're powerful. It could be the way you listen without interrupting, the way you hold him when the world feels like too much, or how your presence alone reassures him that everything will be okay. And once you become this emotional refuge for him, things change. The connection deepens, and the relationship becomes more than just shared experiences. It becomes a safe haven where both of you can truly be yourselves, unguarded and real. Try to become the person in whose presence he feels most like himself. This isn't about agreement or accommodation. It's about acceptance, understanding, and creating space for authentic expression. As he starts to recognize you as his emotional refuge, a new layer of connection unfolds, one that goes beyond just providing support. Let's explore what happens when you become the person he looks to for both comfort and inspiration.
Moment number 4. The moment of future visualization. It often goes unnoticed, yet it represents one of the deepest commitments a man can make. It's the moment when he stops thinking about his future as a solitary journey and begins automatically including you in every plan, dream, and consideration. This reflects what the philosopher Emmanuel Levinas called the face of the other, the moment when another person becomes so integrated into our consciousness that we can no longer imagine existence without them. For mature men, this mental shift is profound because it represents the complete reformation of identity from I to we. For men, this identity merger often happens unconsciously through automatic language shifts, future planning, and resource allocation decisions. This is the moment when a man's heart starts to choose you as a permanent part of his life. It's not about casual talk or fleeting plans. It's when he begins to picture you in his future in ways that reflect his hopes, dreams, and desires. A man doesn't just include you in his future by saying, "Let's do this sometime." Instead, he starts saying things like, "We should travel to Paris together," or "I can see us retiring somewhere warm." These aren't idle remarks. These are subtle but significant signs that he is imagining a future with you in it. The idea of building a life, not just a few moments together, starts to take shape in his mind. This shift in his perspective reveals something profound. He's no longer viewing you as just a companion for today, but as someone with whom he wants to share his tomorrow. The more he sees you in his future, the more his heart invests in you. He begins to plan around you, and not just with you. Why does this matter? Because a man who envisions a future with you is a man who's already emotionally committed in a way that goes beyond simple attraction. He sees you as part of the life he is building, and that's the moment when his true devotion starts to bloom. I hope you give this video a like, and don't forget to save this video for later, so you can reflect on how these moments might shape your own relationship. Remember how we discussed becoming his emotional refuge? That present moment peace naturally extends into future security. When you're the person who brings him peace today, you become the person he wants beside him for all the uncertainties of ahead. But even this profound commitment leads to our final moment, one that represents the deepest form of masculine devotion. Moment number 5, when respect transforms into reverence. Respect is important in any relationship. It's the foundation upon which trust, affection, and understanding are built. But reverence, that's something else entirely. When a man reveres you, he doesn't just admire your qualities or acknowledge your strengths, he honors them deeply and sincerely. Imagine this. When you walk into a room, he watches you with a quiet admiration. It's not just about your physical beauty or what you do for him. It's about the essence of who you are. He values your thoughts, your integrity, your wisdom, and the way you move through the world with grace and authenticity. This reverence goes beyond mere respect. It's a deep appreciation for everything that makes you who you are. This moment happens gradually, almost imperceptibly, but it's profound. You might notice it when he starts deferring to your opinions more often, or when he actively seeks your advice on matters he'd otherwise handle alone. It's when he becomes genuinely interested in your thoughts and feelings, not because he's trying to win your favor, but because he understands the depth of who you are. What makes this moment so powerful is that it signifies a man's complete emotional investment in you. When he reveres you, he's not just saying, "I respect you." He's showing that he's in awe of you, that he recognizes the value of your presence in his life, and that he cherishes it in a way that words can't fully capture. Last month, I witnessed this transformation while having dinner with my friend Harold and Margaret. Harold was describing Margaret's volunteer work with literacy programs, and I watched his face as he spoke. This wasn't pride and ownership, it was awe at being connected to someone he considered remarkable. This echoes what the poet Rumi wrote, "Let yourself be silently drawn by the strange pull of what you really love. It will not lead you astray." When a man reaches this level of reverence, his love transforms from possession to gratitude, from desire to honor. Dr. Helen Fisher's research on long-term relationships shows that couples who maintain what she calls partner regard, a deep respect and admiration for each other's character, experience continued relationship satisfaction even after decades together. But when respect deepens into reverence, something magical happens. The relationship becomes a source of inspiration rather than just comfort. So, continue growing as a person. The woman who inspires reverence is one who remains curious, continues learning, and brings her own sense of purpose to the relationship. You're not just his partner, you're someone whose life journey he feels honored to witness and support. When a man feels this way about you, he doesn't just choose you, he celebrates you, protects you, and considers himself fortunate beyond measure to share life with you. As we conclude this exploration of masculine psychology, I'm reminded of what the ancient Greek philosopher Plato wrote. At the touch of love, everyone becomes a poet. But I would add that at the touch of true love, everyone becomes deeply grateful for the profound gift of authentic connection. These 5 moments, when vulnerability becomes safety, when character reveals itself under pressure, when you become his emotional refuge, when his future automatically includes you, and when respect transforms into reverence, represent the deepest journey a man's heart can take. They're not just moments of falling in love, they're moments of conscious choice, of commitment that grows from understanding rather than impulse. What makes these moments so powerful is their authenticity. They can't be manufactured or manipulated. They emerge naturally from genuine character, consistent behavior, and the mysterious alchemy of 2 compatible souls finding each other. They represent something precious, a man who has not just fallen for you, but chosen you with his full consciousness and life experience. If this perspective has offered you clarity about the masculine heart, please share it with someone who might benefit. Because understanding these moments doesn't just help us recognize love, it helps us appreciate the profound privilege of sharing life with someone who sees us, chooses us, and feels grateful for our presence in their world. And while you're at it, hit that like button, subscribe to the channel, and ring the notification bell so you never miss out on more valuable tips on relationships. Remember, the deepest love isn't just about being wanted, it's about being chosen, valued, and cherished for exactly who you are. Until next time, may you recognize your own worth, and may you be blessed with someone who sees it as clearly as you do.